Hi guys, how you doing? Mark O'Hare here for We Love Betting with a Championship playoff semi-final preview for you. Reading go to Fulham on Saturday evening. Quite a remarkable game this really. Two teams in the top two in terms of possession and passing in the Championship, but they're rated completely differently by the bookmakers and myself, if I'm honest as well. Reading actually finished 4 points and 3 places above Fulham, but they're as big as 23-5 to win this match. That's the bookmakers giving them just an 18% chance of victory, which is truly quite remarkable, and I think it's quite unprecedented in the playoffs as well. So I wanted to run you through a few stats before I got to my best bet, just to show you the difference and probably why these two teams are rated so differently. As I say, by myself and the bookmakers as well. Fulham finished 6th with a goal difference of plus 28. Reading finished 3rd. Their goal difference was just plus 4. Fulham are in the top 5 for all the key performance data metrics which I look towards. Shots on target, shots in the box, expected goals. If you take all 4 of those ratios, Reading are actually in the bottom 4 for all of them. Fulham are in the top 5 for all of them in the Championship as well. Fulham scored 45 goals at home at Craven Cottage this season. Reading conceded 48 away from home. Only Rotherham conceded more goals away from home. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, because Fulham won the shot count 34 times in their 46 games in the Championship this season. Reading only won the shot count in 16. A big difference there between the two teams. Fulham were odds-on favourites in 17 of their games. Reading just 5. Fulham, of their 22 wins, 14 were by 2 goals or more. 18 of Reading's 26 wins were just by 1 goal margins. They very rarely won by 2 goals or more. Look at the flip side. Fulham, 7 of their 10 defeats were by just 1 goal. Reading, 8 of their 13 defeats were by 2 goals or more. Again, when Reading lost, they lost heavily. When Fulham lost, they lost marginally. Fulham won 3, drew 1, lost 1 at home against the top 6, lost just once against the top 11 at home. Reading lost 4 or 5 away at the top 6. 1-2, lost 9 of 11 games at the top half, conceded 3 goals or more in 7 of those 11 games as well. So, as the odds suggest, Fulham are the likeliest winners for me. They've been the best team since November. Their record in that run, 18 wins, 8 draws, 5 defeats, a 31 plus goal difference. Really impressive from Fulham, especially so when you cast your mind back to the start of the season. Jokanovic only had 9 players at pre-season at one point in time. He also lost his 2 best players from last season, McCormack and Dembele. Took them a long time to get going, but once they have, they've been flying. But I think the first goal in this game is absolutely pivotal and crucial, even critical to how this tie could play out. Reading's game is based on scoring first and preserving that advantage with that sort of possession-style football. A lot of fans think it's quite boring, or sorry, fans from outside of Reading think it's quite boring, but they wait patiently for their opportunities. They have a good record of scoring first. Only Brighton and Newcastle scored first more often, and Reading actually won 24 of their 26 games when scoring first. However, when they do concede first, they struggle to chase games down. They're often taken apart by sort of bigger, bolder, more shrewder, more penetrating sides, which I think Fulham really are. Reading actually lost 10 of 13 away games when conceding the first goal, but here's where it gets interesting. Of those 13 games where they did concede the first goal, they conceded 39 goals. So the floodgates do really open when they start chasing games, and although Fulham only won 10 games at home this season, that's the lowest of the top 13 teams. They were the joint top highest scorers in the league and hit 3 or more goals in 8 of their last 17. For Reading, McShane and Van der Berg aren't fully fit. They only played 45 minutes last week after layoffs. And Stam seems undecided whether to play 3 or 4 at the back here. I've got to oppose Reading though. You may have seen the piece on We Love Betting where I've basically, some people have called it assassination. It's not at all. It's just trying to tell a story behind the odds and why Reading are so often overpriced. And so often basically unfancied by the bookmakers. They have lost 5 of their last away games, and the overwhelming trends are just completely against them across this tie. It's hard to really find value here. Fulham are as short as 4-6 to win the first leg. I think they will win the first leg. I'm actually going to throw in over 1.5 goals into the equation as well. We can get odds of 19-20 with BetStars. It's worth noting BTTS is banked in 13 of Fulham's last 15 games. But they've enough firepower to score at least twice here and win the match. As I say, they've scored 3 or more goals in 8 of 17 games towards the end of the season, and Reading have conceded 3 or more goals in 7 of their last 11 games at top half teams. So there you have it. Fulham are fancy to progress from this tie. You won't get a great price for them to qualify. You won't get a great price for them to win. You've got to look outside the box here. I like them to win and over 1.5 goals at 19 to 20. But for those Reading fans who are absolutely adamant that they're the better team here, get involved in that 23 to 5. The bookmaker's clearly writing you off from the outset. It's too big a price. Yes, good luck. Enjoy the playoffs, and I'll be back with a Sheffield Wednesday Huddersfield preview shortly. Good luck.